Alright, hello. If you played Warframe, you have definitely noticed a category of weapons called two-handed blades. And when you're a new player, you see a weapon like the Galatine, and you're like, wow, that looks cool. I wonder how good it is. And of course, for early game, Galatine, Gram, and all of these really big blades, they're all really good. However, on the late game and later on, these are not considered all of these are not considered amazing. None of them really are. And two-handed blades, you have the two-handed swords and the two-handed nikanas, where they're both two different separate categories. However, today we're talking about the two-handed blades, or heavy blades, as I like to call them. So, heavy blades, we have, the paracesis that you get from the quest, the vitrica, that is the blade from Executioner Nihil, the guy you fight from the oubliettes, you get Nihil's oubliette from Nightwave, and then you fight him and then you can get this. And this has the innate ability that it glasses enemies and makes them more susceptible to damage right after, and then you can shatter them. In general, there are some really interesting weapons. You might have seen people run around with this thing, like this giant fucking sword that makes no sense. And this is the Zenithar, a login weapon. For some reason, this skin is bugged on the Zenithar, and when they found out about the bug, instead of fixing it, they just kept it in because the community loved it so much and they loved running around with a giant sword on their back. Now, all of these weapons are all really cool, but once again, none of these weapons are really all that powerful. Except for one, the Tenet Exec. The Tenet Exec is our most powerful heavy blade in the game by far. It's not even close to the second, and it's actually one of the strongest melee weapons you can use in this entire game. First of all, it looks extremely cool, with the handle being the whole blade and the blade extending on its own after a while. And in general, if you don't like how it looks, you can also use one of the many great skins that this game can provide you on the heavy blade category. I think the heavy blade has the most amount of skins out of every category, and all of them look absolutely beautiful. Some of them better than others, of course, but they're all extremely good looking. Okay, maybe not this one. I don't know what I'm looking at, but most of them, or maybe all of them, they look fantastic on this category. They are all absolutely great. So, why is the Exec above everything else? First of all, it's the only heavy blade in the game that you can get a valence bonus in, meaning you can get a free toxin. Free toxin is nothing to gloss over, especially because obviously you can just boost the toxin or whatever else you got with Prime Fever Strike. So, for example, if you want to do gas damage, you can change this and have innate heat damage and then put Prime Fever Strike, and boom, you have gas damage. And that saves you mod slots. It can do a lot of things. And in general, corrosive is the best for this because it deals a lot of innate damage, but you can do a lot of great things with this thing. So let's go take a look at what it actually does by going to the simulacrum, because I think you're gonna understand it the best if we go to the simulacrum. And while going to the simulacrum, I can show you the reason why I'm making this video. If you go to Ergo Glass right now, the vendor, he has some browse wares when you unlock the Tenet weapons. And if we go here, we're gonna see that right now he has a 60% magnetic Tenet Exec. Magnetic is great, it's a good damage type to start. Ideally, you would want to take it to max rank so you could change it to either heat or, toxin, whatever you want, but magnetic is great. I would definitely keep magnetic if I was going to do the build that I'm going to show today. And in general, since this weapon is really strong and you guys still have 2 more days to get it, and getting it takes around 1 hour if you're good on Railjack. Simply, if you don't know how to get it or how to do Railjack, you go here. Once you do Call of the Tempestari, you can go to Veil Proxima, and H2 Cloud or R9 Cloud will be unlocked. I still don't know which of the 2 missions is the one that gets unlocked, but this is a mission I haven't unlocked yet, right here. But as you can see, it has some void energy around it, just like Numina right here. If you have one of these 2 missions, or Flexa or NSU Grid, if any of these 4 missions have that effect on them, they become Void Storms. And on Void Storms on Veil Proxima, if they're skirmishes, you can get up to 10 corrupted holokeys so you can get your weapon. So if I go back to Ergo Glass now, you're gonna see that because I played Railjack for 1 hour yesterday, I have a whopping 70 corrupted holokeys, and I've already purchased the Tenet Grigori, which costs another 40. So I had 110. In general, corrupted hologies farming has become a lot easier over the years, but right now, genuinely, in 1 hour, you can get upwards of 40 to 80, and all you need to do is just finish the mission. There is nothing special about it. You just go to those missions and finish them with a squad play, and you're good to go. Now, back to Samaris, let's go to the simulacrum and showcase how this weapon actually works and how you can abuse it. So, with this sword's mechanics, first of all, the stance that you get on this sword is the best stance out of the gate. It's one of the few heavy blades that you actually get the correct stance immediately, which is Rending Crane. Rending Crane is so good not because of this, although this is actually really good and deals a lot of damage, but it has two combos specifically that are absolutely goated. One is the forward combo, which simply, if you hold forward and attack, you do a dash into a double strike into another double strike, which has a lot of mobility and a lot of damage. You actually, unlike most forward combos, do not lose any damage, and in fact this deals a lot of damage on its own. So this is a fast and really good combo. And the other one is probably the most dumb combo in this entire game. If you hold block and press E, you do one attack over and over. This seems dogshit, right? But this one attack, if we go to melee combos, it deals 500% of the weapon's damage and ragdolls the enemy. Meaning if you have afflictions, it works and it deals as much damage as a heavy attack, almost. It deals like 100% less damage than a heavy attack. But it's absolutely wild. It's legit wild. And as you can see, forward block combo, you have 100, 100, 200, and then 300s, and on this one you have 400 into 500 again. Rending Crane in general has really high multipliers on its combos, so it's very strong as a stance. And the final combo is this one, which also reveals us what the weapon actually does. When you slam by any means of this weapon, you get these fields of energy that go in front of the weapon and deal damage. Now, if you just do normal slam attacks or combos through slam attacks, it does this one field, but if you do heavy slam attacks, it does 3 at the same time, and they're way more powerful. So how do you abuse this mechanic on this weapon? Simply, while you're playing with combos, you have a normal Tenokai build, and if you ever get Tenokai, what you do is you jump, and then you slam attack on heavy, and that activates the Tenokai, keeps you under a combo, and takes effect of any Tenokai mod you might have equipped. On this one, I have Dreamer's Wrath, because it gives me critical chance, and I use melee animosity for even more critical chance, so I can get some juicy red crits. Melee afflictions would be amazing in here, but sadly the weapon status chance is way too low. But don't worry, I have something that fixes that, and I can show it after. But as you can see, even without any attack speed buffs on a build that is not catered towards attack speed and catered towards max damage, this weapon clears enemies very quickly, and one slam attack deals absolutely insane damage. So very good. I have a Riven mode on this build, and this is the actual build that I'm using. Instead of a Riven mode, the Gladiator Might is absolutely great here to use. It will give you some crit chance. My Riven has crit damage and status chance and damage to Grineer. So if you use this, if you're playing against anything that's not Grineer, this is gonna be just as good, because I mean the status chance, you get whipping wounds anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, you can definitely cook something like this and you will be absolutely fine. And obviously, if you want, you can also change this Toxin Progenitor to Electricity Progenitor, which I should, but I don't have my 5th form on. And then I can also put Organ Shatter on there, or maybe even an attack speed mode. So you can do this, or you can do Berserker's Fury, and then you have the attack speed issue solved as well. For now, this is good enough for me, which means this weapon is not even maxed and it deals this much damage. And I'm gonna go on a regular mission and showcase how it looks like with Wisp. But because this weapon obviously has so many ways of knocking enemies down and upwards, I also have another build that involves Lavos and melee afflictions, which I'm gonna showcase. And this one is a bit more interesting because it does abuse the fact that the heavy attack trait of this weapon doesn't normally have great status chance to actually abuse melee afflictions on it. Which is why I have opted for melee animosity, by the way, if you were wondering. Obviously, if you want to do melee influence, you know, you can go ahead, but I don't think it's that great. It's not very interesting. Nothing to really make the weapon shine or unique. Like, melee influence kinda takes the uniqueness of this weapon and throws it out the window, while melee animosity works directly on the uniqueness of this weapon and makes the heavy slam attacks very powerful when you're doing them in between combos. Just putting attack speed and health flowers here, and basically what I said. You do combos, you can do either forward or normal combo depending on if you're close or far away, and whenever you get it, you just jump and heavy slam attack. And obviously, because these waves are sent forward, it doesn't matter how high you go for the slam attack. You don't need to actually aim up. You just need to jump and aim down and just heavy slam attack, which is the great thing about it. I know a lot of people that play controller really have a lot of issues with heavy slam attacking because they have to look up and then look down and then whatever. For this one, you don't really need to look up at all, and you just do really good damage, as you can see. In general, the amount of damage this weapon deals is pretty crazy. Like, even on the regular slam attacks, as you saw, that one was just a slam attack from a combo. That damage was really good. It dealt like 200,000, which is absolutely sublime. But obviously, if you do heavy slam attacks, then you're gonna get that. So, pretty big difference, obviously. And this gimmick is really fun to play with, and it makes the weapon absolutely goated, very powerful. And thankfully, because afflictions is not something that you actually need on this weapon, enemies with things like overguard or CC immune enemies still take the full damage of this thing regardless, which is really good. It's a very mobile weapon, it's a very fast weapon. Like, even at minimum attack speed, this still doesn't feel so bad, especially for a heavy blade, it feels quite quick. And in general, it's a really powerful weapon. I think out of all the Tenet melee weapons, this is probably the best one. It's either this or the Tenet Livia, which I also made a video about, by the way, link in the description. But I think this one, out of all the heavy blades at least, it's definitely the most powerful one. It's not even close. Like, yeah, it's really strong. Without any buffs to boost my damage, just some attack speed boost, it can do some crazy damage numbers. So, and again, this build is not even maxed. Ideally, I would probably swap my balance bonus to either, not either, probably electricity, so I can just mod for toxin and have the electricity, and then swap my electricity mod for some critical damage through Gladiator Might on my build. So that would do even more damage, quite a big boost as well, because Gladiator Might does increase both the critical chance and critical damage of the weapon. I would get higher crit tiers, I would get a lot of stuff. Sadly, I missed my Tenokai timer, which kinda sucks, but it doesn't really matter too much, I still do a lot of damage. The mechanics of the heavy slam attack, by the way, work like this. So it first of all takes off whatever crit chance and crit damage you have on the weapon. It has its own base damage, so it increases that. And obviously, because it's a heavy slam attack, the entire wave gets multiplied by your combo counter. So the higher your combo counter is, the higher damage each wave of energy will do. It's a very powerful weapon, honestly. And these waves can benefit from anything, including condition overload, which is why we have it on the build. They're not multiplicative with condition overload, sadly, even though they are projectiles that come from the weapon, and usually that's how it works with these weapons. But they're still very powerful. I'm gonna just wait for the Acolyte, so the damage of the waves onto the Acolyte, so you can see like a comparison, because the waves are AoE and they deal a ton of damage, so I really want you to see how you like them. And for example, if you like a weapon like the Sampores, this is basically the Sampores, but way better, way stronger. I have both the Sampores and this, and I had a Riven for the Sampores and tried both of them, and I think Melee Kareen was unironically the best element for the Sampores. Otherwise, it kinda just did nothing, sadly. This one just goes crazy even without maximum investment. And lost my combo again. Fuck. Skill issue. What I really like about this weapon is that it completely ignored the slam nerfs that we got recently because of the waves. Like, you don't really need to slam onto anything as long as you have enemies in front of you and you just slam the ground from any height instead of like jumping all the way up in the air and then doing that. You will kill them because of the waves. The waves deal a ton of damage. The one bad thing about the waves is that they don't really like when they have elevation. So if I do it on the stairs there, I'm gonna lose quite a bit of damage. Anyways, I'm gonna charge this. Oh, Molly's supposed to go. Fuck. Whatever. Molly's, please come back here. Come back here. Come back here. There we go. But yeah, basically, you know, it's a slam weapon that plays through both doing regular melees and slam attacks, so it deals an absolute ton of damage when you are building and playing it properly. So definitely recommend this weapon if you want to pick it up. It's, as I said, the grind. If you find the squad on NSU grid, H2 cloud, R9 cloud, or Flexa, if you get any of those missions and you have a Void Storm, you can literally get this weapon in 30 minutes to an hour time, as long as you have the mastery rank, of course. Unlike other Tenet weapons, Ergo Glass weapons do require you to have the mastery rank, and they are mastery rank 16, but they are definitely worth it, not just for your setup and loadout, but because also if you get them on something like Elite Deep Party Media, these weapons are actually good enough to carry you through Elite Deep Party Media, so long as you actually build for them. So they're really, really powerful. I'm gonna show the Lavos interaction on Simulacrum because I don't really want to do the mission over and over and just do the same thing, but just with Lavos, because we're just gonna see the same thing. And I'm just gonna show you what it looks like basically and how you can experiment with it depending on if you like playing Lavos or not, because I think he is kind of the only one that can do this. I mean, in theory you can also have Siren and maybe Gaia. I haven't really tested Gaia myself, but we can try it now. But yeah, here's the idea. Hopefully the build is there. Okay, it is there, but it was on Karine instead of Afflictions because I guess I was trying something, but yay, the build's here. So basically, same exact setup. This one has gas damage instead. So as you can see, we have just a Volcanic Edge and I have combined the Toxin with my gas damage. So we use Elementalist now as the extra mod, and now we can go for Lavos. With Lavos, obviously, the idea is Valence Formation, which I should have all the abilities here, right? I'm missing electricity. Okay, so basically the idea is, normally, this weapon, if you have a slam attack, the waves don't actually deal any status procs at all. But they can obviously proc afflictions. So what you do is, if you have Valence Formation, you can simply just completely bypass this and add blast afflictions, for example, or you know, something like gas afflictions can also be added by just doing the same thing and playing the weapon. And gas afflictions on something like Lavos goes absolutely crazy on this weapon, as you can see. Even slam attacking at 0x with no damage buffs and just sending it. Because gas damage scales harder when you are pairing it with Lavos, you are getting a ton of value out of this combination. And playing it normally, of course. Oh shit. Anyways, but yeah, I have Arcane Velocity now. If I just swap to Arcane Strike, this build absolutely works. So you can get some ridiculous results by just playing Lavos and doing this, like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. As I said, you can probably also do this on Siren. I know you can do this on Siren, but I want to try Gaia and Conductive Sphere real quick. See if that actually works. So I have a Conductive Sphere Gaia here. So if I throw this down and I have a slam, does it work? No, it doesn't. Okay. So no, not Gaia, but it's fine. Lavos, Siren, and anything that you can put guaranteed status effect procs onto your melee weapon will work here, and it's actually pretty amazing. Thank you very much for watching another video of mine, and I will see you on the next one.